worship. Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen. Probably in his heart he could do that.
Not even there, probably.
As you know, this church supports 9 different missions and 10 counting our benevolent fund. And so from time to time, we seek to have someone come from those groups as much as possible to inform you of what you're doing with your money. So today, we have Kenny Sacked from Wipe Every Tear. As you remember, almost a year ago, February, myself and some other people from Rev 22 made a trip to the Philippines on a medical mission trip. And I showed you some pictures and we discussed that, and so you had a heart for that ministry. Today, kind of as a on the side or alongside would be better, to that ministry is Wipe Every Tear. And who can tell me what Wipe Every Tear does? Good idea. You're going to find out today what Wipe Every Tear does. Kenny had been a teacher prior to 2008 at Cole Valley, a Christian school where he taught. His wife continues to teach there even presently. But God laid on his heart the slave trafficking that happens in the Philippines at that time. And so since that time he has been ministering, and I'm sure his wife is still an integral part of that in many ways too, besides supporting him financially. But he's going to come today and he's going to tell us about that. An amazing statistic that he gave me a minute ago. I asked him if he knew how many people over the years that they ministered to, and he didn't give me that figure, but he gave me the figure that right now 70 women are in the care of Wipe Every Tear. And 6 graduated from college out of that program. So now they have a way to, I'm not going to tell all, it's too long your thunder. Oh, so come Kenny and share with us your heart today.
Good morning. Golly, you know what, guys? I've always wondered, what this little meeting was like. And this is so my heart. What I'm seeing here this morning is so my heart. By the way, you know that you're not ordinary? Really? In relation to the church out there, and by the way, do you know what? There's context here. In America, people say, so what are you? What do you believe? I do not use the word, I'm a Christian. I'm not ashamed of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. No way! But the reason I don't say I'm in an airport traveling, whatever, I don't say, yeah, I'm a Christian, because they immediately put me somewhere. By the way, some people can't even see me over there. And I'm not good with holding a mic, but because I use my hands to talk. But I will attempt to do so. So that, see, I love seeing everybody. And the reason I don't do so is because they put me in a place. They put me in a church building. They put me, it's got the cross, here's the church, here's the people, open it up, and, whatever, here's all the people, right? That little kid thing, right? And I just, everyone wants to put you, what do you believe? Who are you? And I go, and sometimes I'll say, I don't want to really tell you. I just want to tell you that I'm deeply in love with Jesus. Yeah, but what church do you go to? I just love Jesus. I love the kingdom. Yeah, but what do you believe? Well, I don't mind telling what I believe. That Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Amen. I mean, it's just what the Word says about Him, who He is. But I say that in contrast to you guys this morning because you're not normal. This is not normal. But let me tell you, I believe it is the norm. This is the norm. This is what it's supposed to be like. Now, I'm not opposed to the brick and mortar, but I do find, I talk to a lot of people in our nation, a lot of young people, and let me tell you, our young people, the brick and mortar thing. When I say the brick and mortar, the building and the pews and all the stuff, they're questioning that. They're really questioning that. I taught at Coal Valley Christian High School for years and years and coached basketball. And let me tell you, I would start talking like this in class, and my kids would just lean into me. My Christian kids, because I tell them things like, I can't stand religion.
Amen.
And I'd tell them, I said, you know what? I really don't like church. Now, church or church. There's two different churches. There's God's church on earth. That's you and I together. Wherever we're at, we are the church. And then there's that thing out there that's called church. And they couldn't stand it. It didn't relate to them. But I find that the person of Jesus always relates to everybody. So I had no idea that I'd be talking about this right now, but I'm just so refreshed with being in here with Jim Beam in the background. Welcome, Jim. It's just like, I grew up in a Western rodeo background, and I went off to college, and to be wild and crazy, and I met Jesus my first semester of college. And it absolutely changed my life. Do any of you old-timers remember a guy, he was one of the first Christian, modern Christian recording artists. His name is Keith Green. Does anyone know that? Yeah! I walked into his concert on accident.
Wow.
And I came out a Christian. That was back in there was a revival movement called the Jesus Movement back in the 60s and 70s. And I was part of that. I just was this kid, and I walked into this place, and he's just banging away, and he's got this long hair, and he's just, He was just like this. Wow, just like this. Man, I wish I could do it, And he's sitting there going, he's on his, you put this love in my heart. And he's just singing away, and then he starts prophesying. He says, some of you right now are feeling the Spirit of God inside of you. You can feel Him right now. He's talking. I start burning up. I'm just burning, sitting in the back row, the very back row. And I just go, what in the world is happening to me? I ended up that night, I walked forward, had no idea what I was doing, but it was the Spirit of God drawing me. And I became a Christian in that Jesus Movement revival in 1976, October 22. I was there. It was real. So, gosh, we rescue girls in the sex trade in Southeast Asia, specifically in the Philippines. And you guys help us. You guys help us rescue and restore them. We say that we bring hope, freedom, and a future to precious women trapped in the sex trade. And I read your website this morning. Gosh, I love this place. This is so good. By the way, we had a video for you to see, but you don't have your sound system this morning, so you can't hook it up, so it's like, I don't know, maybe we'll show it here in a second to give you some visuals, and I'll kind of narrate it or something. Kevin's back there ready to cue that thing up. But let me read to you what you guys believe. Hang on here, I'm not the greatest technical guy in the world. Turn my light up here. Okay, here it says, this is what you believe. And I just went, yes, Lord! This is so good. Common Ground Biker Church, you seeks to establish an environment of friendship and brotherhood in a familiar setting. This is familiar to me. I like it. Coors Light. Look at that. I love it. And we talked about Jim back there. I don't know who else is back there, but you know we got Jim Beam back there. That's good stuff. And Jack. Jack Dan. Hey, Jack. Good to see you. I'm serious. This is not a show. I love this. To me, this is the church. This is, just come in. Come as you are. So, go back. Coming from Mega Church seeks to establish an environment of friendship and brotherhood in a familiar setting where everybody can worship God and study the Bible. Now, here's the part that just touched me. In a non-judgmental atmosphere, listen to these 4 words of acceptance, love, honor, and respect. And I thought of our girls. What we do with our girls, we accept them where they are. We absolutely love them. Not because of what they are doing or what they have done or have not done. We simply love them. And we honor, I'm using your words, and we honor them and we respect them. And now I'm going to say some things to you. Sometimes I hesitate because you don't really know me. Guess what? Guess what God told me to do? He says, don't you, by the way, we go into the bars. This is where we get our girls. There are 140 bars in a 1.5-mile strip where there are over 15,000 girls trapped in the sex trade because of poverty. They are not whores. They are not prostitutes. They are not former whores. They are not former prostitutes. They are just like you. They're no difference. They're just like my 5 daughters and my 6 granddaughters. There's no difference. They're just girls that are trapped in the sex trade because of poverty. And so this is like, I'm in these bars all the time. My life is so different than I ever thought it'd be. We walk into bars and we celebrate. We just go in, and God said, whatever you do, don't you dare mention my name in that bar. But I'm deeply in love with you, and I need to evangelize. He says, don't you dare evangelize those girls. Just love them. You do what this is his words, you do what I'm asking you to do. And he says, and then let me do what I love to do. So we have found that when we go into these bars, this is so good. This is the first time I've ever, well, we do church all the time in bars in the Philippines, but the first time in America. And we go in and we just start loving them. This is the setting right here. Imagine a stage right here. It's a stage, and there's one bar has 500 girls in it. There's 15,000 on this strip. And they all hate it, but they look like they just love it. They do it because they have to feed their children and they have to feed their brothers and sisters. And you guys help us do that. And I am so grateful to you. Kevin, let's just try to do I wish we had some sound. Gosh, maybe you'll invite me back again. And we'll do some sound. Go ahead and just show it, and then just so you can visually, and I'll just kind of talk through it, okay? Go ahead and do that. There would be some great music here. Oh, you can't, turn the lights off maybe? Can you turn the lights off so you can see it? In the Philippines, nearly 500,000 women and men are sexually exploited. You know, we can turn this light off right here, so you can see it. It says 100,000 of these women are under age of 18. There's some great music right here. And I'm talking about here, I always tell my girls, remember back where you came from. That's a common theme in the scriptures, is remember. Remember when I took you, and I crossed you over the Jordan? Remember when you were at the Red Sea? Remember when I was with you? And I'm always telling our girls, here's one of our girls right here. I said, and I'll tell them, remember where you came from. Don't forget where you came from as you're looking forward. This is one of our homes here. It says, welcome home. When new girls come. Welcome home. So we started in, this is what the video is, I can just hear it right now. We started in 2008 just working with the poor and the broken. And it wasn't until 2012 that God broke my heart for the sex trade. So we just experienced our 5th year anniversary in February. Our girls are so impassioned with Jesus, you guys. This is not a religious thing we're doing. This is a Jesus thing. Our girls are so impassioned that they actually lead our teams into the bars. If you were with us in the Philippines, you would be led by one of our girls. We get in teams of 3 to 4 to 5 and we go into the bars. A foreigner, only foreigners can go into these bars. The Filipinos cannot. It's a sex tourist destination area where plane after plane after plane of men get off. Our girls, look how we love them. That's how we love. By the way, this is the best picture over here. It's nice and clear. We just love them. And what this thing talks about, that we're in partnership with Adventures in Missions out of Gainesville, Georgia, where they come, and you notice how we just love these girls. We never tell them that they're sinners. We never tell them that they fall short. We just love them in the bars. When they come into our care, we don't change our vocabulary. We're just who we are, a bunch of Jesus crazies. And look at these girls. These are real baptisms. We don't go, okay, come on, you need to be baptized. They come to us and they say, would you baptize me? Look at this. I just love this. I never get tired of seeing Jesus move on this earth. We just dearly love these women. And there you go. So I guess you can turn that light back on now. There you go. Thank you, guys. So I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful to you guys. You know, I was teaching high school right down the street here. And I was coaching, we took a basketball team over there. Then I took a volleyball team over there. And I started seeing the sex trade, and I just went, oh my God, how can this be? And we went to this city, Angeles City, in Pampanga, Philippines, and we saw that. I asked this guy, I said, how many groups are there like you that are doing this? He was driving a car, and my director, Becky, was in the front, and I was in the back seat, and he turned around and said, just us. They call me Coach, by the way. Just us, Coach. I thought he misunderstood me. And I said, no, Paulo. He's from the UK. Paulo, how many groups are there like you here in Angeles City that are helping get these girls out of the bars? And he goes, Coach, just us. We're the only ones here. We're the only NGO, non-government organization. We'd say non-profit. We're the only non-profit. I thought he didn't hear me. This traffic, honk, 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 it's loud. And I go, no, Paulo, how many Christian groups are here from around the world that are coming into these bars and getting these girls into a house and providing them an education and real restoration? He looks at me and he goes, he's driving, he goes, I told you, we are the only ones, just us, Coach. And my heart absolutely broke. Because my mind immediately went back to America, and I said, you've got to be kidding me. How in the world can there be millions of Christians in America, and there's not one from America in this city with doing anything for these girls? I couldn't believe it. And I said, I just have to do something. I never set out to do this. You know, I went to college, I went to seminary, I pastored, then I ended up teaching and coaching, which was my real niche. That was a great way to disciple people. And then here I am, leading an organization. It's actually the largest organization, and we think in the world when it comes to the amount of people that we are affecting. I don't say that boastfully about me because of how great I am. I really say it because of how great God is. That God would use a high school teacher and coach. You know that people come to us and they say, how in the world are you providing food and housing and college tuition and books and materials and a daily allowance and medical and dental for 70 girls? And my real answer is this. It's happened many times, and I say, I don't know. I just know that God is deeply in love with the poor and the broken. God is deeply in love with a woman who is trapped in the sex trade. And the money just shows up. That's you guys. That's you guys. So, I think I'm done. I think my time's up. So I just want to say thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Oh, Jesus, thank you. You guys are the real deal here. Jim, come on up here, man. So I just thank you so very, very much. Just thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kenny.